Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of January 29th through February 4th of 2024. All right, so this week, a bit of a quiet week astrologically. We've got one major aspect between Mars and Uranus. So early in the week on Monday, we have the planet Mars, which rules our assertiveness, the drive, the more active part of ourselves, and it's going to be in good harmony with more experimental Uranus. So a great time of trying new things, getting outside of our comfort zone. We could notice that it's a good opportunity to really, challenge our own status quo and do things that are just different than we normally would. This can increase a bit of maybe confidence, assertiveness, again, some of that drive that Mars can give us with that good harmony there. All in all, we are implementing the full moon energy this week. We had the full moon last week in Cancer, which was all about doing a status check with how we can create more of that protective environment for ourselves and others. And so now it's a great week to implement that. But really, any new insights, any new perspectives since late last week, really good to apply this week. We will be coming up to the third quarter moon on Friday, which is good to really challenge ourselves. It's a very action-oriented phase of the lunar month. And so around Friday, later in the week, really good to put in some of that action in regards to this implementation. And then as a backdrop this week and next week, we've got Jupiter sextiling Saturn. It's something we've had that went exact back in June, around June 19th of last year. And so it's just a little bit of a reminder in regards to maybe there are some opportunities, maybe there are some things to be hopeful about that we can put in some work, patience, and perseverance into, that we can either wrap up from what we started in June or continue to work with that energy moving forward. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, January 29th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. For example, I did just say that we had a full moon in Cancer, but maybe you were expecting it to be in Leo. So if the signs sound different or out of place for you, definitely check out the link down below for more information. We are using the visible sky on this channel, called True Sidereal Astrology. All right, so a bit of a quiet week astrologically in terms of the major aspects. As you can see here, we've got the Mars trine Uranus, which is a very important one, but really just one here concentrated around Monday, and a minor sextile between Mercury and Neptune. And then, of course, this kind of backdrop Jupiter sextiling Saturn thing that we've had since the June of last year, and this will be ongoing pretty much all the way until about the end of February 19th. This will be within a 1 degree orb, and it won't go exact, it won't contact, it's just getting really close to the contact. So anyways, a bit of a quiet week there astrologically. The most important thing I would say is this Mars aspect at the beginning, and then the simple fact that we are applying and implementing the full moon from the energy around Thursday, Friday of last week. And when we do get to about Friday of this week, we'll be in the third quarter moon, which is much more action oriented and just a really good time to implement things in our life in general, especially for the remainder of the lunar month. So let's go ahead and do a recap where everything is though, because the sign placements will play a larger role in more quieter aspects, quieter weeks when we have less aspects like this. So the sun is well set in Capricorn. The focus is on how we can construct more of a long-term view in our lives and what do we want to build for the future, and cultivating qualities like patience, perseverance, discipline are all really good. And so that's been and will continue to be the major theme. This will be the location of the next new moon that we have in about a couple weeks time, if you're watching this at the beginning of this week. And so this will really signify then a continuation and really the new beginning of the Capricorn energies. So it is Earth, Capricorn, grounding, long-term, and this is now in combination with a lot of the fire that we have going on at the moment. All of the fast movers are in Sagittarius. And so Mercury here, our minds, it's great to be really getting into the higher perspective on things, whether it's about possibilities, potentials in life, whether it's about philosophy, spirituality, really getting into that more abstract mind. Venus makes it a great time to be connecting in this way around those same things and just seeing the value and enjoyment to be had around expanding our perspective on life, and sometimes a bit of that adventurous spirit as well. Mars here is our drive, and so Mars can help us unlock a bit of that fire, inspiration, open-mindedness, and again, willing to expand our mental or literal horizons here. So definitely the combination between that earth and fire that we've got. But let's talk a little bit more about that Mars. So Mars there in Sagittarius will be in a good trine up to Uranus. Uranus is finishing his transit of Aries before he starts to shift into Taurus here in just about a month or so. So fire energy here, very supportive. And again, Mars, the planet of our drive, is in good harmony to what is normally erratic Uranus. Uranus is the part of ourselves that you might say is the connection to our higher self that wants to do things because it excites us, because it's spontaneous, because it's different, because it's an experiment, and just all in all gives us that sense of freedom. So very good to be connecting with that. I think it's going to be relatively a very easy time to do so. And so anything that might require a bit of Mars energy, like that assertiveness, confidence, directness, we can have that support from Uranus to help us do that. And here the support will be to maybe think outside the box, maybe get outside of our comfort zone and really challenge our own and the general status quo, I think is a great way of working with that. So anything there, I think is a great way of working with this particular aspect. Now, Monday, we've got the moon finishing Leo. And so from the weekend, it was a good weekend for a bit of self-expression and a bit of that creative energy and fun and playfulness. This week, though, the moon will be shifting into Virgo. And so for the whole week, from basically Monday all the way until Saturday, we've got the moon in this more earthy Virgo. So Virgo is all about improvement. And so it's a great time to really see what can be improved and refined upon in our lives, whether it's with ourselves, such as through personal development, diets, our work, our service, or just in general in life, facilitating things, being more of a facilitator, finding solutions, being willing to get into the nitty-gritty, the details of things, and all of this with Virgo is really the theme, I think, as a backdrop to the week there. So that's going to play a very strong role, because again, we don't have any, that many major aspects, especially coming off of this more fiery Mars energy, supportive energy here the first couple days of the week. So yeah, Wednesday we'll have the theme of Moon and Virgo. Wednesday will, Thursday will as well, Friday will. Friday does have this minor aspect between Mercury, the planet of our minds, and Neptune, the more spiritual part of our true self. So you could split up Uranus and Neptune as the connection to our higher selves or our true selves. Now, where Uranus is the one that wants to listen to our excitement, that part of our true self, Neptune is the part that understands that everything is in divine timing, and it's about listening to our soul and following our soul. So with this one, it's just an opening. And so there can be an opening to connect more with our soul, especially when it comes to the more practical mind. So a good time for getting into the ethers with the mind. Could be a little bit of heightened intuition. Could be really good for imagination, creativity, letting the mind wander a little bit, and just usually a little bit more of a willingness to go with the flow with things. So we're not forced into it. It's not a trine. It's not a direct aspect. Sextiles are more like openings. So it's really a door that presents itself that we can choose or choose not to walk through. And in this case, though, if you do want to utilize it, it does make Friday a really good day for a little bit more of that receptive mind or receptive day-to-day activities. However, we might want to channel that one. All right, and that completes the moon in Virgo there on Friday. And as we start to get into Saturday, the moon will shift into Libra. This places more themes around balance in our life. Good time to bring things into balance in our life if there's any areas out of balance, anything we want to recalibrate. But it usually places more of a theme on interpersonal relationships. So anything we're dealing with other, whether it's people we know, people we don't know, just everyday kind of one-on-one dealings, usually brings up themes around morality, ethics, justice, what's right, what's fair, and again, bringing the scales back to balance. So coming to mutual agreements, cooperating, finding that middle ground, doing what's right. These are the things that are just typically good to work with there with the moon in Libra there. And then the moon will go into deep Scorpio on Sunday, and so that's going to be a good day there for perhaps bringing up some of the deeper world, whether it's within ourselves through psychology or healing or things like this, but also externally, a good time for research and uncovering deep things. So a bit of that willingness to unveil the deeper world. Sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable to do that when the moon's here. The moon's here once a month, but when the moon does come into here, the moon doesn't like to be here. The moon's a more protective side. So it is a little bit of fine balance in terms of how can we uncover the deeper stuff that might be uncomfortable to uncover emotionally, while still maintaining those boundaries, still maintaining that protectiveness that really both the moon and Scorpio require in order to dive deep in healthy and constructive ways. And then, like I said, as a backdrop to the week, it's this Jupiter sextile Saturn, again, not going exact or anything like that, and again, still continuing until about February 19th in terms of it being within a 1-degree orb, so close, felt. And here it's just a reminder of what we had back in June of last year. So it went exact June 19th, and so this could be in some regards a finalization of it, since it's not technically a contact, but it is the final energy of it being very close. So it could mean a finalization of anything that you set out to do around June in your life regarding what's possible, what you want to build for the future. Both Jupiter and Saturn are about the long-term view. Jupiter's the inspiration for it. Saturn is the work for it. And there's been a door opening with the sextile to incorporate both there. But either way, it's a great week, and next week to be doing this, again, expanding our horizons, especially because we have all these planets in Sagittarius anyways. Expanding our worldview, our horizons, and again, with the combination of Capricorn, grounding it, thinking long-term, being patient and disciplined. These are actually the signs that are ruled by Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, Saturn rules Capricorn. It really is a week of incorporating both the fiery natures of, in this case, expanding our horizons while grounding it with Capricorn and Saturn in terms of the long-term view and what takes a bit of perseverance. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Put simply, is that it's an implementation week from the shifts of perspective since around last Friday when we had the full moon. It will be more action-oriented when we get to about Friday of this week in terms of that integration, seeing things moving forward, of implementing from those shifts. Early in the week, we do have nice harmony here between Mars and Uranus, giving us perhaps a bit of an increase in either confidence, assertiveness, and or a bit of that freedom and sense of willing to get outside of our comfort zone and have new experiences. The moon will be in Virgo for the bulk of the week up until the weekend, so it's a good week for improvement and refinement. We've got a little bit of an opening on Friday for a bit of receptivity, and then the weekends with finding a little bit of balance in our life on Saturday and diving deep into life on Sunday. All right, so everyone, have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you haven't yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a free newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube, plus extra content like weekly posts, articles, and podcasts and things like this. So really good way to stay in tune with the true sidereal community. There's a link to sign up down below for that. It's absolutely free. But again, have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.